Imagine spending over 3 decades behind bars for a crime you didn't commit. Imagine watching your entire life slip away, birthdays, graduations, funerals, all from behind prison walls. Now imagine that even when a judge declares you innocent, the state fights to keep you locked up anyway. Welcome to True Crime Explorers. Today, we're diving into 10 cases that expose the terrifying fragility of our justice system. Stories of innocent people who lost years, even decades, to wrongful convictions. And if you think this couldn't happen to you, think again. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our deep dives into the cases that changed everything. Because of these stories, they need to be told. We like to believe that our justice system works, that the guilty go to prison and the innocent go free. But what happens when that system fails? What happens when prosecutors hide evidence, when witnesses lie, when science gets it wrong? The cases we're covering today are based on court documents, DNA evidence, and investigative records. These aren't theories or speculation. These are documented failures of justice. Real people whose lives were stolen by a system that was supposed to protect them. From death row inmates eating multiple last meals to mothers blamed for their children's deaths, these stories will make you question everything you thought you knew about justice in America. Let's begin. 10 Charles Collins, New York. In July 2025, Charles Collins walked out of a New York prison after 31 years. Convicted of murder in 1994 at age 18, he maintained his innocence for 3 decades. Then, DNA evidence emerged, science unavailable at his trial, proving definitively that Collins didn't commit the crime. At 49, Collins experienced freedom for the first time since the Clinton administration. 31 years gone because the system got it wrong. While Collins lost 3 decades, our next case shows how judicial errors can compound. 9 Chandler Halderson. Chandler Halderson had 2 convictions overturned, exceptionally rare and revealing fundamental prosecution problems. Each conviction meant months of legal battles, denied appeals, and fading hope. Having 2 separate convictions vacated suggests not just errors, but systemic failures from the start. How did he get convicted twice for crimes he didn't commit? The answer might lie in the corruption we're about to explore. 8. The Cook County 7, Illinois. 7 people freed from wrongful convictions, but the story of how they got there reveals disturbing corruption. Detective Ronald Watts framed innocent people for drug crimes, targeting Chicago's public housing communities where residents had few resources to fight back. According to investigations, Watts and his team framed over 200 individuals. He was eventually convicted himself, but not before destroying countless lives. How many more innocent people remain imprisoned because someone with a badge decided to play God? Speaking of people who refuse to give up, 7 Bruce Bryan. 29 years. That's how long Bruce Bryan fought to clear his name. He didn't wait for someone to save him. He saved himself, studying law and systematically dismantling the case against him. His eventual release wasn't a gift from the justice system. It was something he earned through decades of tireless work. Bryan emerged not broken, but transformed into an advocate for others still fighting. His story proves that even when the system fails, human resilience can prevail. While Bryan's fight ended in freedom. 6 Kirsten Lobato, Nevada. Kirsten Lobato was convicted of murder in 2006 and released in 2017 after 16 years. Witnesses placed her nowhere near the crime scene. The timeline didn't match, yet a jury convicted her anyway. Lobato entered prison as a young woman and emerged having missed her entire 20s and early 30s, years she can never get back. If it could happen to her, with alibi evidence and witnesses, it could happen to anyone. While Lobato's case represents American failures, wrongful convictions aren't just an American problem. 5. The Post Office Scandal, United Kingdom. Between 1999 and 2015, the UK Post Office prosecuted over 700 sub-postmasters based on a flawed computer system called Horizon that showed missing money that never existed. Instead of investigating their system, they prosecuted aggressively. Some went to prison. Many lost life savings. Several took their own lives. Executives insisted Horizon was reliable, even when evidence proved otherwise. The scandal emerged in the 2020s, but for hundreds, acknowledgement came too late. If you're finding these stories compelling, hit that like button. Should corporations face criminal charges when they cause this level of harm? While flawed technology destroys lives, our next cases reveal people sent to death row on junk science. 4 Robert Robertson, Texas. Robert Robertson was set to become the first person executed based on shaken baby syndrome, now considered unreliable by medical experts. His October 2024 execution was dramatically halted at the last minute. Prosecutors pointed to his lack of emotion as guilt, but Robertson has autism. His flat affect was neurological, not criminal. Modern analysis suggests his daughter died from pneumonia and a fall, not abuse. Even the detective who arrested him now fights to prevent his execution. Robertson remains on death row. His execution was recently blocked by Texas all-Republican courts of criminal appeals. Speaking of Texas death row cases built on questionable evidence, 3 Melissa Lucio, Texas. Melissa Lucio was hours from becoming the first Latina woman executed in Texas. In October 2024, a judge declared her actually innocent. Her daughter Mariah fell downstairs and had undiagnosed pneumonia. When Mariah died, police interrogated grieving Melissa for 5 hours until she gave a coerced confession. That confession became the prosecution's case, despite medical evidence suggesting accidental death and her children's testimony about the fall. For years, Melissa sat on death row while her remaining children grew up without their mother, all while grieving the daughter she lost. She awaits final ruling, innocent according to a judge, but still fighting for freedom. While Melissa waits, our next case involves a man who came even closer to execution multiple times. 2 Richard Glossip, Oklahoma. Richard Glossip ate 3 last meals. 3 times Oklahoma prepared to execute him. 3 times his execution was stayed at the last moment. He spent over 25 years on death row based solely on another man's testimony, given to avoid death himself. No physical evidence connected Glossip. Oklahoma's own attorney general says his conviction should be overturned. Republican and Democratic lawmakers united to support him. Even the lead detective now believes he's innocent. In February 2025, the U.S. Supreme Court vacated his conviction and ordered a new trial, but Glossip remains in legal limbo after surviving 9 execution dates. But if you think that's shocking, our number 1 story will shake you. 1 Christopher Dunn, Missouri. Christopher Dunn was 18 when Missouri sentenced him to life without parole. He walked out 34 years later at 52, more life behind bars than free. His 1991 conviction rested on 2 eyewitnesses who later recanted and admitted they lied. 2 judges declared him innocent, but Missouri's Attorney General fought to keep him imprisoned anyway, arguing technicalities despite judicial findings. After emergency appeals, Dunn walked free July 30, 2024. 10 years ago, Christopher married his wife Kira inside prison, assuming they'd never experience freedom together. When released, he saw the Gateway Arch as a free man with Kira beside him, 52 years old, finally seeing his city's landmark without shackles or the weight of false conviction. 10 cases. Hundreds of years of stolen life. These are just the ones we know about, where evidence emerged, lawyers fought hard enough, and luck aligned to reveal truth. According to the National Registry of Exonerations, over 3,000 exonerations have occurred since 1989. Researchers estimate many more remain hidden. Which case stayed with you most? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments and let me know what you'd like us to explore next. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.